Hello, my friends. How are ya? Hiker Dave NE here. So after what seemed like forever this week at work, I'm like, I gotta get out. I gotta clear my head, get into the woods, go for a nice hike. I'm not a football field in. The trailhead's right through the trees there, the parking area. And of course, I'm stopped. I took a picture. And I hear this very loud crack, a tree break or a very large stick crack or something right in that area. Of course, that's where I'm headed because the trail here curves around this way. And I'm headed right in that direction. So I come out here. I didn't have an opportunity at all during the week to go for a hike. I've been working ridiculous hours, but nobody cares. So this is my go-to head clearing activity, is to go into the woods and do what I do, and like a nice mental break. I've mentioned many times on this channel that the woods are just this incredible luxury that I have here in New Hampshire. There's so many places to hike, but this clears my head. You know what I mean? It's I don't think of anything else. And all my worries just kind of fade away once I get in the woods. And then I hear the loud snap. I'm like, oh, come on, man. I'm out here just for a nice, relaxing hike. I'm solo by myself. So that's where that loud crack came from. I do have an option. I can go this way and go around it. My plan was actually to take this route here. I think what I'll do is I'll come back that way. I'll head out this way for now. Is it just me, or has there been this incredible, of late, amount of people going missing? Or maybe it's just coming up more on my feed, on YouTube, more on my suggested videos, but it feels like these missing people are making headlines, I would say, more often than they used to back in the day. And it's just, it seems to be happening more frequently. At least it seems like that to me. And again, it could be just because it's coming up on my feed more often. Is this thing zoomed in too much? Oh, look at the camera work. So professional. So maybe it is just that. Maybe it is just it's just popping up on my feed. And it's no more than usual. I'm just noticing it more than I normally do. But there's some really strange disappearances going on lately, as far as I'm concerned. I was talking with this gentleman, really, really nice guy. I'll leave his name out, but I just met him at this new place new job site I started working at. I'll leave the name of that out too, because it's very confidential apparently, and I don't want to get in trouble. And the subject of Bigfoot came up. And instead of, sometimes I might get a giggle or someone looks at me funny when I tell them I have a channel on YouTube. And he lives in Maine, an hour and a half from me further north. And he decides that he's going to tell me about two incredible encounters that he had. And I was so excited to hear from this nice kid. He served our country, and very thankful for that. And he told me that him and his son, I think it was his son, maybe nephew, they went out and they were up in Maine, Very, very secluded area. They were staying out the night. They had no tent, and they were in these pretty cool sleeping bags, like with a waterproof shell and everything, and they just were going to sleep under the stars, and they had a little fire going. It had gotten dark, and they were bundled up. It was pouring out, so they were both bundled up in their individual sleeping bags. And the rain was so heavy, it just completely put the fire out to a point where, it wasn't even smoldering. It was just drenched. So it's the middle of the night, and they're kind of just trying to get some shut-eye. And he's saying, I could hear different animals. They were right off of a trail, but again, in the middle really of nowhere. And or maybe it was an old logging road. I can't remember exactly. And he said he remembers. Look at God, the professionality is just brutal. I apologize, guys. I'm out of it. My brain is frazzled right now. And he remembers distinctly hearing a moose coming by. He's like, I could hear them footsteps, and he's like, I knew it was a moose. And his son or nephew, maybe it was his nephew, was from the city, was not used to being outdoors, and he was pretty nervous when that moose had come by. And some time went by, an hour maybe had passed, and they're trying to fall asleep. The rain had let up a little bit, and he says, I start to hear something big is coming towards them, or walking this old grown-in logging road. And he says, I heard that the footfall of a bipedal, something on two legs, heavy footfall. He said it moved. It wasn't running. So it wasn't running, but he said that the ground it covered as he was listening to it was just massive. I mean, it was just moving abnormally fast. I mean, it was not a person. And he said, I knew exactly what it was. His nephew was freaking out, kind of hiding in his sleeping bag, kind of thinking maybe that'll protect him. But he said, yeah, it was definitely a Sasquatch. He had an experience before, and he knows about them. And he said that was his first time he's ever had anything like that. Oh, because he had two incidents. Forget if that was the first or second, but I looked in his eyes, and he's reliving what happened, and I knew, this kid is not lying to me. I completely believed him, and he was convinced that it had just walked right by. It never stopped, but he said he just couldn't believe the ground, the amount of ground that it had covered with each step. He said it was amazing. Maine actually has quite a history of Sasquatch, and it was well known going back even like to the 70s from articles in the newspapers and credible newspaper and credible people. But they were very, very tight-lipped. Nobody talked about the things that they were seeing and hearing, and accounts of something killing animals, killing their pets, and things like this. And it seems to be changing. There's a shift there, I think, with the more and more people coming out and talking about their experiences with Bigfoot has kind of, it has given people, I think, more confidence in telling people about their stories and, things that had happened to them in the past. And they're feeling a little more comfortable that they can now come out and talk about it. And I think that that's fantastic because, the amount of people that will give accounts of their experience, and if you take that number, imagine the amount of people that don't talk about it at all, and they never bring it up, and they keep it to themselves, take it to the grave, and they'll never tell anybody what they saw. And I think it's fantastic that the more and more people that are talking about it, I think it helps others that think, oh, someone's going to think I'm crazy. Well, not everybody's crazy. You know what I mean? It's a common thing that, fortunately, is starting to come more and more to the forefront. So we get to hear these incredible stories, and I'm grateful for it. I'm glad that there's more and more people talking about their experiences. The mosquitoes, right now, all summer long, don't stop. You can't stop here. If I stop walking, they must take that as an invitation to drain me of my blood. It is crazy, and I've got a lot of mosquito repellent, bug repellent on me, and it seems like they're starting to. They're just looking at it as a gravy covering my arm. They're like, "Oh, good, bug repellent and blood." It's ridiculous out here. It really is. I'm really looking forward to the cooler weather coming, so I can just stop with the bug repellent. This stuff ain't even good for you, especially the stuff I use. It's not good for you, and at least in my opinion, anyways. Did you hear that? I don't know if that's going to get picked up because the microphone's facing towards me. That was another tree break, or a branch break, a stick break. Another one. What is this? Something just staying just ahead of me and I can't see it? What was that? Oh, I can't stop. Oh, sorry about the camera. Oh, there it was again. I'm going to turn the microphone around. It's active out here. What is going on? And why am I walking towards it? I can't stop these mosquitoes. What's going on out here? And what is that noise? I'm starting to get that feeling, you guys. I'm getting that feeling right now. Here it is again, another crack. Hey, Bear. Yeah, I'm not alone. I keep hearing it. Again. And then I heard something like a dog panting, like that. I hate seeing that. I hate to see that. Somebody brought that out here and dumped it. Thanks a lot. I'm hearing all kinds of weirdness right now. I'm getting that feeling I want to go. I want to leave the area. What is going on? What is happening? There it is again. Is that little? Oh, another one. I don't want to leave. I don't feel right now. I'm not even... I have that bad feeling right now. What is going on? I don't even know if you guys can hear me with the microphone facing the other way. I know as soon as I shut this camera off, I'm going to hear a crack. I know it. Oh, these mosquitoes. I heard a crack in that direction and in that direction, right in this area. And then I heard what sounded like a dog panting. Not liking this. When it ceases to be fun, at what point do you turn back? Because now I'm not having fun anymore. I have that feeling, that overwhelming feeling to turn around. I don't like when that happens. It hasn't happened since me and Gary's hike a month or so ago. Me and him both got turned around in a place and just left. I have something to tell you about my buddy Gary, and I'll get to that a bit later in this video, because it's he had a really, really awesome experience, depending on how you look at it. I really, really, really want to turn around. I hate this. I hate it. Should have came out here with someone. I should have dragged my son out here. He's got the day off today. Today's Friday. We both had today off. But his girlfriend's up, and I didn't want to, I didn't want to take him away from his girlfriend. His girlfriend has multiple sclerosis, and to take her out hiking, she gets tired really fast. So I didn't want to say, Grady, come with me, I'm scared. I can't believe I'm turning around. I have that feeling, that terrible feeling. I can't even believe this. I'm actually going to turn around. I don't want to be here right now. I'm hearing way too much stuff for me to that's not right. All right, I'm leaving. You win. You got me again. Another break, another crack. Right over there. Excellent. Okay. These breaks are consistently ahead of me, just so up far enough where I can't see. So I'm leaving. Great. This is great. This was going to be a nice, simple video. I was going to do some talking about some of the missing people. I'm turning this camera around so you guys keep an eye on my back while I'm chatting here for a minute. This really makes me at a point where I'm mad. All that stuff coming from back that way. And whatever it is, I don't want to walk into it. So I'm not happy that this has to happen right now. I'm only an hour. I've been out here for an hour. Now I got to walk back, all scared and paranoid. Great. I do want to say, I'm hoping that you guys watching this video don't think I'm overreacting, because that's not my MO. I wanted to go for a nice long hike in a place that I'm very familiar with. This is the north side of my research area in McCabe Forest. I don't come out here a ton, not as much as I do where I put the marbles out and stuff. So I noticed a lot more changes here than I would on the other end, a couple miles to the south. I notice it more because I don't come out here as much. I actually haven't hiked alone in the northern part of this forest in quite a while. I come out this way with Grady, or I bring Gary. Speaking of Gary, don't get mad at me, Gary. I gotta tell my subscribers and people that watch my video that know Gary, if you don't know, is my hiking buddy. Great guy. We met up once and I ended up getting a really good friendship with him, and I'm very fortunate to have been able to meet him. And he has the same interests as me, which helps, we just have endless discussions about Bigfoot and Dog Man and stuff like that. That heavy breathing back there, that made me, right away, I thought of Dog Man. I gotta calm down. So, Gary, don't get mad. I'm gonna tell you a story about what happened with you and your wife on your property. I'm hoping to get Gary, when I go hiking with him next, I want to get him on my video to talk about what happened, but he's camera shy. What the heck was that now? I am really looking forward to getting home, and I gotta hear this video. I want to see how much of these noises were able to be picked up by my microphone. This is so frustrating to me right now. And then just back there, something, I don't know, fell right near me or slightly behind me or next to me. I'm taking this one. This is a different route back. I'm taking this way back. I think it's a bit quicker. What a coward move, huh? But when my sixth sense is telling me to get out, I'm getting out. This is ridiculous, man. I did not expect this. It's a nice day, a little humid, mid-60s here in New Hampshire. Should have been a really, really beautiful, nice hike. And now I'm hightailing it with my tail between my legs. Actually, those are two opposite things. I got my tail between my legs and I'm jetting because I want out of here right now. Sorry about the camera work, guys, but I'm kind of booking it because I want out. So, you know what? I'm going to wait till I get back to my vehicle. I'll tell you what happened with Gary, and hopefully he'll be able to come on my channel and talk about his experience. Yeah, this was definitely a quicker way. Wow, what a shortcut that was. There's the road. So I get a call from, a text from Gary last week, maybe last weekend or something. Now, let me just put a little context here. He just moved into a beautiful, beautiful spot, got a bunch of acreage behind his house. We set up a nice gun range on his property. We also have a really, really interesting hiking spot down at the end of his dirt road. He was on a dirt road. Houses are far apart from each other. And we had a beautiful hiking experience out there a couple months ago. Then we decided to take a same trail, but it forks off. So I said, I want to try, let's try this other trail that we didn't get to check out. We go into the woods on a different occasion. For the second time, we go down this trail near his home. And it's dead quiet. And both of us are like, we're not going to continue. We're both feeling that dread feel, or that maybe not dread, that fear. The forest goes deathly quiet, and all of a sudden I'm uncomfortable, and I'm wondering if Gary's feeling it. And then I didn't know. Gary's wondering if I'm feeling it. Then finally Gary mentioned something, and we were like, yeah, I'm feeling that same thing. There's something really off, really strange about this area. So, it just was a very odd experience. It wasn't like the experience that I had today, as far as that's real get the heck out feeling. But it was enough where me and Gary were just like, listen, we're going to live to hike another day because we're really getting an odd feeling. So he texts me, and I'm reading it, and here's what happened. Hopefully I can get him to explain it better. I want to get him on camera on my channel, but he don't mind hiking with me and being in the video here and there, but he's a little camera shy, so we'll see what happens. But so to catch you guys up a little bit, on his property there's been changes. He did the gifting with food, left out peanut butter, other things like that. And he set up 2 trail cameras facing the area where he's gifting. And consistently, he'd catch a squirrel or a chipmunk, bird here and there. but every single time the food is gone and there's no photos. In other words, a squirrel or a chipmunk is not walking away with an entire jar of peanut butter. And this kept happening to him, and I would talk to him, and I could hear the frustration in his voice. It was really driving him crazy that it kept happening. How does the peanut butter, jar of peanut butter, or larger items go missing and there's nothing on his trail cam? It's ridiculous. Also, we're starting to notice more and more tree bends, intricate tree weaving, thin trees, but it's nothing like when he first moved there. I think we found an old tree break, and 1 or 2 bends, which was last year, I believe it was. He moved in, I think, before the snow fell. Now, when I go out on his property, it's just intricate tree bends. I mean, it's completely changed on his property. So he texts me, Dave, you're not going to believe this. Him and his wife were settling in for the night, not too late, around 8:30, 9 o'clock. They get the windows open. It's not too bad. And they're just, going to find something on TV to watch or what have you. And he hears whoops right out his window, or very close on his property in his backyard, clear and distinct whoops. I'm gonna leave it at that. I believe he did go outside with a flashlight, didn't see anything, but he knows what a whoop is. He has done a lot of research on videos on YouTube and the Sierra sounds, and he knows what animals sound like, and it was no animal. It was not an animal. It was something very close to the back of his house, and whooped. So, Gary, I know you're going to watch my video. Think about talking on my channel. If you want, we can set it up where we're hiking, and I'll just show it from footage of us hiking, and you can talk in the background. Maybe that would make you a little more comfortable. And listen, it's not a big deal. You can just tell me what happened, repeat it again, because I would like others to hear it from you instead of from me. I wasn't there to hear that. So now that I told you guys that about what's going on there on his property, I'm looking forward to going back. But again, Gary, I was hoping I can get you on my channel to do a little talking. All right. So anyways, I do appreciate you guys clicking, and I'll definitely be seeing you guys soon. What happened to me today, I don't understand. Or I don't understand how that could have happened so close to the road. It was not far into the woods, guys. It was probably just far enough. The first stick break that I heard, I was still hearing traffic on the road. It was very, very close to the trailhead. And the further I went in, the more stuff I heard. I haven't gone over the audio yet of this video when I was out in the forest. I just kind of want to slap all this together and get it out there, because maybe you guys might see something or hear something that I didn't. So let me know in the comments, and let me know in the comments if you hear that dog pant sound, like a heavy, and like the last one almost sounded like a growl. Very odd. Never heard that in my life in the woods before. Very strange. The only reason why I mentioned Dogman, I don't need to talk about Dogman usually, but I'm not dismissing that in any way of the possibility of there being a Dogman. There could be, I don't know, but it sounded like a dog. And why couldn't I see anything? It was, again, stuff was happening just far enough out of my sight, just far enough away where I couldn't see what was making the noise. And then just as I'm leaving, I'm really booking it. I'm doing a very quick exit stage left, and I stop to talk to you guys just for a second, and something right next to me falls or fell, or I don't know what that was, and it scared me. I don't care what anybody thinks. Anybody who says or leaves a comment saying that I'm a coward or a wimp because I turned around and left, at least let it be from someone who hikes by themselves all alone in the woods often. And then maybe you would have been braver than I in that situation. But anyways, thank you guys so much for clicking. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next one.